Traditional business, the analysts tell us that we've sort of maxed out on the vehicle growth in North America, set record levels last year, not going to probably do that this year. Where is the business right now from your point of view?
Well, when you look at the industry here in the U.S., first off, we're at very high levels. I mean, 5, 6 years ago, when you would have said the industry would be at 17 or 18 million units, people would be smiling a lot. So it's at a high level, but our view is, the industry has plateaued. We are seeing some weakness in the retail end of the marketplace. That's kind of manifesting itself through more competitive pressures in the marketplace. And for us, we're just going to stay really focused on making sure that we keep that core business healthy, that we keep it with fresh product, and that we keep our dealers appropriately competitive in an environment where it has plateaued.
Well, as a practical matter, does that competition reflect itself in price? I mean, price pressure, various incentive programs and things like that?
Yeah, you're seeing it manifest itself in a couple of ways. One is discounts in the marketplace. You're seeing that more on the car side of the business than the utility or the truck side of the business, although those are up as well. And that really has to do how people are migrating their preferences from passenger cars to utilities and trucks. You're also seeing it in some cases in auction values of lease vehicles that come back into the marketplace, particularly smaller vehicles. And we're looking at that, we're looking at the reality, and we're dealing with that, I think, in a very proactive way.
Well, as you look out 2, 3, 4 years, are you worried about a bubble in those cars coming back in? Because there are a lot of cars that went out at a particular time, they're going to be coming back in. The used car inventory is going to grow dramatically. What pressure does that put on you?
There'll be more, obviously, over the next couple of years, there'll be more cars coming back than in the last couple of years. But as we look at our economic forecasts here in the U.S., we're not seeing any signs of recession. We are seeing, again, in the car market, we are seeing it flatten out. We're getting prepared for that. As a business, whenever a downturn does come, we are a very different business than when we were before the last downturn, and much more fit to stay profitable, to maintain and sustain the dividend for our shareholders. But we don't see a huge bubble in the marketplace. But it is starting to moderate, and we're getting prepared for that.
So before talking about where you're going to get growth from, talk about that part of your business, sort of stress testing your own business. With your balance sheet and the way you're operating now, what sort of downturn could you withstand without really being in trouble?
Well, we've actually done some downturn scenarios. To put it into perspective, we've made so much improvement in our business structure over the last 8 years or so. Our break even here in the U.S. is about 11 million units. The industry this year to date is running at 17.6 million.
So you've got a cushion in there that you've built in.
Yeah, we have really worked, obviously, through the last Great Recession. We restructured our business. We did it without going bankrupt like some of our competitors. So we have the right business structure now, we feel, to sustain a pretty severe downturn.
So as I said earlier, your company, as well as other companies, are going through a real transformation when it comes to automobiles or vehicles, whatever we call them.
Yeah.
Tell me where you are. You've been very outspoken about how you want to transform not just Ford as it operates, but how it's thought of.
Well, we're going through this transformation of being an auto company to an auto and a mobility company. And the reason for that is people's mindsets are changing, and it's changing from just owning a vehicle to owning and sharing a vehicle. And any company needs to be understanding what are those consumer trends, what does the world look like in 5, 10, even 15 years, and how do we need to adjust our strategies going forward to be successful? So our strategy, very simply, is to keep that core business healthy and strong, great cars, utilities, and trucks, but also change our business model from one of just number of vehicles sold, which is still really important, to vehicle miles traveled, or the usage of our products. And so we see lots of opportunities in electrification, in autonomous vehicles, and just mobility, car sharing, ride sharing, that could open up huge new avenues of growth for our business.
There's a lot of talk about that in the industry. Your approach appears to be a bit different than some of your competitors who have gone out and made some really pretty big bets. You seem to be making relatively smaller bets, but more of them. Is that your strategy, and why do you think that's the way to lead?
Well, overall, we're thinking about this holistically. It is not just about, well, let's have an autonomous vehicle. Yes, we've said we are going to have what they call a level 4 fully autonomous vehicle that can operate in a defined area in 2021 in either a ride sharing or a ride hailing service. But at the same time, we're also thinking holistically about mobility. How do people get around, for example, in big cities? And so we're going and we're talking with cities and we're asking them, what are your transportation and congestion issues, and then what assets can we bring as Ford So for example, we're working with the city of San Francisco where we're going to be putting bikes, 7,000 bikes in the Bay Area. We just acquired a dynamic shuttle business. That combined with our vehicles, we're bringing assets to a city and asking them how we can help and how we can, it can derive new business opportunities and revenue for us, but at the same time, solve problems and make people's lives better.
So Mark, we had a big debate on Monday night here, and your company featured prominently from Mr. Trump, who once again wasn't the first time, said that because of your actually opening plants, expanding in Mexico, it's taking jobs away from Michigan and Ohio, quite specific. I have to give you an opportunity to respond to that.
Well, first off, it's really unfortunate when politics get in the way of facts, and we're in a presidential season now, so we're just here to set the facts straight, and the facts are very simple. Our commitment to investment here in the U.S. and American jobs is as strong as it's ever been. We've created 28,000 American jobs since 2011. We've invested more than $12 billion. We make more cars here in the U.S. than any other automaker. We employ more hourly workers than any other automaker. And we've actually brought work back from Mexico. Our great plant near Cleveland, Ohio, in Avon Lake, we brought back our medium-duty truck, which we used to produce in Mexico, and we brought it back to the state of Ohio. But as a multinational business, we really have to look at where we can make good returns, satisfy customers. So we're going to be moving to a product out of a facility in Michigan, but then replacing that with 2 more products.
So in a word, if you took away NAFTA, would Ford be employing more people in the United States of America or less?
Well, I think that it's a hypothetical question, right? Because when you, again, what's said on the campaign trail and governing, sometimes there could be very different things. And I think from our standpoint as a business, we want to make sure we run a responsible business, drive returns for our shareholders, but also at the same time drive economic development in the countries that we do business in. And of course, that's very important for here in our home market.